Hello, welcome back. I'm Andreas Chatt, your tech-curious web designer. In this video, we return again to the home page, where for the moment we load in all the posts all at once. This is obviously very bad if we have hundreds, if not thousands of posts. To fix this, we implement an infinite scroll to allow a constant content stream, but we load in only a certain number of posts at a time. Let's see how we can do this using Htmx. But before we dive in, a quick shout out to my very first patron, Alessandro from Italy. Thank you so much, grazie mille. If also you want to become my patron, head over to patreon.com/AndreasChat. I am grateful for any support. Thank you. And now, without further ado, let's go! First, let's have a quick look how our infinite scroll works. In an infinite scroll, you only load a certain number of posts to the page. In our example, 3. And then we add a trigger element to the bottom of it. This element is triggered when it comes into view on the page, and then makes a Htmx call to the backend to fetch the next 3 posts. Our backend figures out what the next 3 posts are, and then sends a snippet back to the frontend containing the new posts and also again the trigger element. The Htmx then swaps this snippet in the place of the old element. So with each call we load in a batch of 3 new posts with the trigger, and this goes on until we run out of posts. Okay, time to code. Let's go to our posts folder and there to the views.py file. And let's look at our home view, which is the first function here. Now the built-in class we're using here is called Paginator, which basically creates pages from all our posts. So let's import this class now. Let's add it in here. From django.core.paginator import Paginator. So this Paginator is a class, so let's instantiate it. We can say Paginator equals and then Paginator and brackets. So in here now we tell the Paginator what query set we would like to paginate, and in our case it's this post object here, which basically contains all the posts users created. So we add this object in here, so posts, comma, and then we tell here how many posts we would like to show at once. You can insert here whatever number you like, but I go with 3. So far, our Paginator divided all our posts into groups of 3, created pages of them, and numbered them. So next we tell the Paginator which page we want to show the content of. So the next variable is page. And this is something we have to send from the front end to the backend. So it's request.get, and then we get the value of the page parameter. So .get page. So this page is a number, the page number the frontend requests from the backend. Now here we also add now our default value, because on the first page load we don't have a page number yet, because our Htmx trigger sends this page number, which is not in view yet at this point. So we add here a default of 1. Which basically means if we don't have any page, start with page number 1. And at last, let's transform this object in an integer to make sure it is a number. Like that. Alright, and now we create a new posts object we send to the front end. So posts equals, we just combine now the Paginator with the page. So Paginator.page, and here we add page. So here we just take our Paginator object and add the page method here, which tells the Paginator which page we need, and it creates our 3 posts here. Alright, so what we have to add in the context here, we have already the post, but we also need to send through the page number, so we can increment the page number by 1 every time we make a Htmx request. So we add here, comma, page. colon page. Alright, save this file. And let's have a look at the website. We should only see 3 posts right now. So just to check, at the moment we have a bunch of posts. I refresh the page now. And we have only 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, this worked. Now let's create our Htmx trigger. So let's go to our home.html. So in templates, posts, home.html. So here we have our loop. Okay. And let's add our Htmx trigger just below. So I paste here my lines of code. This is my Htmx trigger. So basically it's just a simple div and it says loading here. This is not really required, but I just leave it in for the testing. So here we have the hx-get attribute, which links to our home function. And then we add here the page parameter. So question mark page equals. And here we add the page number. So when we do a page refresh, we will display page number 1. That's our default in the backend. And when this trigger comes into view, we grab the value of the page and add another one to it. So we request page number 2. Then we have the hTrigger revealed here. That means this HTMX request will be triggered when this element is revealed on the page. Then we have hxTarget, which will target exactly this element here. And we swap in the results with outer HTML. So this whole element will be replaced with the snippet we get from the backend. Okay, now we have implemented our trigger. Let's save this file. And let's create this snippet file now, which includes this posts loop and also the trigger element here. So we copy these lines of code and we create a new snippet file in our snippets folder. We add here a file called loop underscore on the home underscore and posts.html. Okay, and we paste the code in here. If we want to show a quick fade in, we can again wrap this in our fade in container. So it starts with the opacity of 0, and then with hyperscript we create a transition. So unload transition my opacity to 1 over 0.2 seconds. And we close it like that. Okay, save this file. Now let's go back to our views. And here, under context, we say if request.htmx, we return our snippet. So render request, comma, snippets slash loop underscore home underscore posts.html. And we attach the context. Okay, save this file and let's check it out. I refresh the page. So 1, 2, 3. And now we see more posts loaded into the page. Our infinite scroll is working. The fade-in animation is barely visible. We can increase that a notch. But at the bottom of the page we see now this loading text. This means we are at the end of the scroll. And if we look at the backend, we can see here in the terminal it raised an error. This is because it runs out of pages, and on the last call we get an error message. So it doesn't break the code itself, but we don't like this message to appear either. So let's fix this. For this we add a try and except block for this line here. So it will check if there are posts to display. So we can say try posts, and if there are no posts, it will raise an empty page error. And if this is the case, we say except, and we just return a blank page. So return HTTP response of no content. So that means after the last post, it will send back an empty page. Just make sure that you have this HTTP response class imported. Okay, save this file. Let's go quickly to our snippet. We can get rid of the loading. And let's also increase the seconds to 3. Okay, save. And let's check again. We refresh the page. And let's scroll to the very last post to see if we got rid of the error. Alright, if we check the backend now, as we can see, the error message is gone. Nice. So the Paginator works now on our homepage. However, if we look at our category pages, so if I click animals, so the first posts are correct. But as our Htmx trigger is not aware of any category tag, it will feed all the posts again unfiltered, as we can see here. So let's fix that. So let's go to our snippet. We can see here we're using the home URL to display all the posts, but on the category pages we have to target the category link and also supply the tag. So let's do that. So in here we add the condition. So if tag, if there is a tag, our URL is the category URL. So URL category, and we add the tag.slug. Okay. Then we have else. We target the home. And if. So we can break the line here to make it a bit more readable, like that. Let's save this file. Let's paste the same lines of code also to our home.html. So we swap the code in here, like that. Okay, save this file and let's check it out. Let's go to our home view. And if I go to animals, I see only my 2 animal posts. That seems to work. Let's test landscape. And here we have all our landscape posts. Nice. Now our trigger works properly. This is all for this video. We implemented successfully our infinite scroll. So the last feature I would like to implement before we deploy the website to the server is an inbox, so that users can write a message to each other. We will implement that in the next video. Thank you for watching. Until then, stay awesome.